and another guy that I know that was watching, Chicago State professor, author and friend, Garrard McClendon. Garrard, give me your take when you saw the verdict.
It was very difficult watching the verdict. It was hard to breathe at that moment. It was hard for me to listen to a verdict that might be not guilty. And thank God we got 3 guilty verdicts from the jury. We saw truth being spoken to power. Talk becomes action. We don't have a sentence yet, but the lesson is keep your cell phone charged to 100%. Everyone, I implore you, in case you have to record a lynching. 17-year-old Darnella Frazier, she did so. Her phone was charged and she recorded an American lynching. Finally, in America, we convicted an evil, despicable Klansman in a police uniform. Hallelujah.
Yeah. And Roe, what about you? Where were you watching and what was your reaction?
Well, I was watching, and what I saw, and I happened to have been around some law enforcement people at the time, there was, if I might say, there was an understanding, I think, in the law enforcement community. I've spoken to dozens, if not hundreds, of officers since this happened, and I have not found one who tried to defend the actions of Chauvin that day. So I don't think there was a lot of surprise. I wasn't particularly surprised by the outcome of this, that the second-degree murder was met. I mean, if you watch that trial, if you watch it day in and day out, you saw that the defense did not really mount a really robust defense against that particular charge. They knew they were going to get at least the manslaughter or the third-degree murder charge. They were trying to keep the second degree from coming in, but they couldn't. I mean, the evidence was just overwhelming. And when you look at the video, it's the 9 minutes that really is, you know, the thing that gets you to that level of the second-degree murder.
Yeah, right. And you talked about law enforcement not defending that. You saw the police chief of Minnesota come out and testify and say that is not policy. The question is, Garrard, do you think this is going to be the first step toward police reform?
So I'm going to be honest with you. No, because there's no such thing as police reform. You've got to dismantle the system and rebuild it. So whenever I hear people talk about police reform, that's a bunch of nonsense. Second, I was extremely surprised at 3 guilty verdicts yesterday because the policing of black male bodies in this country has been taking place for over 300 years. We're used to it. Black males are used to it. We're used to it. Second-degree manslaughter, second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder. The verdict was right, but it's not enough. $27 million settlement was right, but it's not enough. Marching and protesting is the right thing to do, but it's not enough. Lynched by a police officer with no national political outrage from our governors and our senators and our representatives. Putting Officer Derek Chauvin behind bars, not good enough. The man had 18 complaints and nobody in blue had anything to say about it. The man was in handcuffs yesterday. I think that's an outcry. I think police officers all over the country are going to say, let me think twice next time I try to abuse a black male or any person with bad policing.
Right, and that's where the word accountability comes in. You're seeing the video of him being escorted out of the courtroom in cuffs. And here is what is happening now. Derek Chauvin is currently in a prison-segregated housing unit while he awaits sentencing, which is about 8 weeks away. He faces up to 40 years on the second-degree murder charge. They're saying he will likely get somewhere around 15 or maybe less, which is going to be disheartening to see.
Segregated housing unit?
He's in a, isolated unit because he can't be in general population for obvious reasons.